Hey, what's up? It's Jim, and I just got back from the new film Magic Mike. A male stripper, Channing Tatum, who is mentoring this other guy, Alex Pettifer, who he meets at a construction job. He has many jobs. He's kind of an entrepreneur. Channing Tatum's character, Mike, or Magic Mike, he brings Alex Pettifer into this world of stripping. You know, Alex Pettifer kind of comes in accidentally. He kind of meets him while he's out that night, and then they just throw him on stage and he becomes a male stripper. As Alex Pettifer gets into the male stripping life and loves the female attention and all the financial benefits, obviously, and the partying and the fun, whereas Channing Tatum is trying to find a way out. He loves making custom-made furniture. He's trying to get a nice loan to start his business, and he's not really succeeding at doing that, even though he has made so much money stripping. This movie is directed by Steven Soderbergh, and I will pretty much see anything Steven Soderbergh does. It's got a real kind of indie Altman-esque vibe to it. It doesn't feel like a major Hollywood movie. It feels kind of like a newer, young director's small, independent movie. There's an energy and a life to it that Steven Soderbergh has brought to it. Like, even it feels a little messy. Soderbergh's become like a really amazing studio director that could like basically tackle anything. To go from Contagion to Haywire to Magic Mike is pretty crazy. There's definitely a sense of being young and the partying lifestyle that goes along with male stripping, as you see in the film, that it doesn't just capture, you know, obviously them, you know, doing drugs or having sex or something, but it also catches on that energy, that feeling of youth and like being 19 and experience the world and finding something that you're really into. You have these big movie stars, like I said, and they're very charismatic, and they're like the life of the party, and they're a lot of fun, and you know, they're fun to watch. And then you have Alex Pettifer is sleeping on his sister's couch, and Channing Tatum's character falls in love with her. Brooke, who's played by Cody Horn, does a really interesting performance because she lives a normal life. She just does medical paperwork. She's very boring, has a 9-to-5, likes reading books. Her performance is a lot more kind of naturalistic, showing the difference between, you know, this male stripper lifestyle and her lifestyle. Like, she has a house, she's just kind of a 9-to-5 contributing member of society. I really like that dynamic because it was like she seemed more normal. I don't know if it's because, and I don't mean this as any offense to the actress, Cody Horn, or anything, it was more Steven Soderbergh's good with casting rather than her being a good actress. Like Arnold Schwarzenegger as the Terminator, that's not like, he's not really a good actor, but he's well cast as the Terminator. And I'm wondering, is Cody Horn just really well cast? She definitely brings an interesting balance to the film. I really like Channing Tatum. I think he's becoming like a really cool movie star. He's definitely very charismatic. He also gets to pull off some of his dance moves because, you know, he did get his start from the Step Up movies. Matthew McConaughey, I thought, did a really good performance. You know, there's this part where he's training Alex Pettifer in front of this mirror. You've heard that kind of part of the speech in the trailer. He's the husband they never had and all this stuff. The dreamboat guy that never came along, and he's like getting into it and stuff. And that scene was really strong. I was kind of surprised because Matthew McConaughey, to me, like, I don't know his legal thriller stuff, so I just kind of know him as like this guy, other than Days of Confused, but as a guy who does a lot of bad romantic comedies I'd never want to see in my life. He did a good supporting performance. It's made like an independent film, really, you know, a kind of a cheaper independent movie, but with a lot of kind of finesse to it. You know, you can tell there's some skill behind it, and Soderbergh knows what he's doing. It almost feels like, as opposed to Contagion and Haywire, which were a little more refined, this is maybe a little too loose. Like, maybe he rushed it a little. That's the only time I really thought that about him. Even though this is kind of a beer storyline, it's very simple. I think Soderbergh works really well in simpler stories. Like, look at Haywire or Bubble, for example. It's probably like the best movie I've seen with like stripping in it since like what, like Killing of a Chinese Bookie or something. It's not better than Killing of a Chinese Bookie. There's actually a little Cassavetes influence in here. It's like interesting that Soderbergh brought a lot of independent, like early independent filmmaker vibe to this film. Almost kind of a journalistic perspective. You know, you want to know that these guys are kind of normal and what goes on backstage. It's not all about the glitz and the glamour of, I guess, of them stripping. It's like an older master director, but he still kind of gets it. He gets what you need to bring to a certain project. I generally enjoyed this movie. I do not think you have to be into watching these dudes take off their clothes to appreciate this kind of a movie. But and if you are into dudes taking off their clothes, then I think you will like this movie even more because it's actually a pretty decently made movie. So if you have seen Magic Mike and you would like to talk about it, then comment below in the comments and subscribe if you would like to.